In the previous section of the course, we performed calculations on data. In this section of the course, we are going to change workbook appearance. In this first segment of this section, we are going to format cells. To start, we are going to use the vehicle mile summary _start workbook. I have already opened the workbook and saved it under the new name of vehicle mile summary. To begin, select cell D2, and then on the Home tab, in the Font group, click the Bold button. Doing so causes the text in cell D2 to be formatted in bold type. Now in the Font group, click the Font Size arrow, and then in the list, click 18. Excel increases the size of the text in cell D2 to 18 point. Now click cell B5, hold down the Control key, and click cell C4 to select the non-contiguous cells. Now on the Home tab, in the Font group, click the Bold button to format those two cells in bold type. Now select the cell ranges B6 through B15 and C5 through H5, again holding down the Control key. Now in the Font group, click the Italic button. Excel displays the cell's contents in italic type. Now select the cell range C6 through H15. In the Font group, click the Border arrow, and then in the list, click Outside Borders. Excel places a border around the outside edge of the selected cells. Now select the cell range B4 through H15. And now in the border list, click Thick Box Border. Excel places a thick border around the outside edge of the selected cells. Now select the cell ranges B4 through B15 and C4 through H5, again holding down the Control key to select non-contiguous cell ranges. In the Font group, click the Fill Color arrow, and then in the Standard Colors area of the color palette, click the yellow button. Excel changes the selected cell's background color to yellow. Now click the File tab, and then click Options. In the Excel Options dialog box, if necessary, click General to display the general page of the dialog box. And then in the When Creating New Workbooks area, in the Use This Font list, click Verdana. Now click Cancel. If you clicked OK, Excel would accept the change for the default font in the workbook, and the next time you started Excel, would display the contents of the workbook in the Verdana font by default. Clicking Cancel undoes this choice. In this segment of the course, we formatted cells. In the next segment, we are going to create cell styles. In the previous segment of the course, we formatted cells. In this segment, we are going to define styles. For this exercise, we are going to use the hourly exceptions _start workbook. I've already opened that workbook and saved it under the new name of hourly exceptions. On the Home tab, in the Styles group, click Cell Styles and then click New Cell Style. The Style dialog box opens. Now, in the Style Name field, type crosstab column heading. Click the Format button, which displays the Format Cells dialog box. Now we click the Alignment tab, and in the horizontal list, click Center. Now we click the Font tab, and in the Font Style list, click Italic. The text in the preview window appears in italic text. Now click the Number tab. This displays the number page of the Format Cells dialog box. And now, in the category list, click Time. When you do, the formats available for the time category appear in the type list. Now, in the type pane, click 1:30 p.m. and click OK. Clicking OK saves your changes and displays them in the body of the Style dialog box. Click OK to close the Style dialog box. And now select cells C4 through N4. On the Home tab, in the Styles group, click Cell Styles. Your new style appears at the top under the Custom header. And now we click the crosstab column heading style that we created earlier. Clicking that style applies the style to the selected cells. In this segment of the course, we defined cell styles. In the next segment, we're going to apply workbook themes and Excel table styles. In the previous segment of the course, we defined styles. In this segment, we are going to apply workbook themes and Excel table styles. For this exercise, we are going to use the hourly tracking _start workbook. I've already opened the workbook and saved it under the new name of hourly tracking. To begin, if necessary, we click any cell in the Excel table, and then on the Home tab, in the Styles group, click Format as Table, and then click the style at the upper left-hand corner of the Table Styles gallery. Doing so applies the style to the table. Now on the Home tab, in the Styles group, we click Format as Table, and then click New Table Style. Clicking New Table Style displays the New Table Quick Style dialog box. In the name field, we type exception default, which will be the name of our table style. And now in the table element list, we click header row. With that selected, we click Format to display the Format Cells dialog box. In the dialog box, click the Fill tab, and then in the first row of color squares, just below the No Color button, click the third square from the left. The new background color appears in the sample pane of the dialog box. Now we click OK to close the Format Cells dialog box. When the new Table Quick Style dialog box reopens, the header row table element appears in bold, and the preview pane's header row is shaded. Now in the table element list, we click second row stripe and then click Format. The Format Cells dialog box reappears. Just below the No Color button, click the third square from the left again. The new background color appears in the sample pane of the dialog box, and we can click OK. The Format Cells dialog box closes. When the new Table Quick Style dialog box reopens, the second row striped table element appears in bold, and every second row is shaded in the preview pane. Click OK to close the new Table Quick Style dialog box. And now, on the Home tab, in the Styles group, we click Format as Table, and then in the gallery, in the custom area, click the new format. When we click the format, Excel applies it to the table. Now on the Page Layout tab, in the Themes group, click the Fonts arrow, and then in the list, click Verdana. Excel changes the Themes font to Verdana, which is part of the Aspect font set. In the Themes group, click the Themes button, and then click Save Current Theme. When we do, the Save Current Theme dialog box opens. In the File Name field, type Verdana Office, and then click Save. In the Themes group, click the Themes button, and then click Origin. Doing so applies the Origin theme to your workbook. In this segment, we have applied workbook themes and Excel table styles. In the next segment, we are going to make numbers easier to read. In the last segment of the course, we applied workbook themes and Excel table styles. In this segment, we are going to make numbers easier to read. For this exercise, we're going to use the executive search _start workbook. I have already opened that workbook and saved it under the name executive search. To start, click cell A3. Then on the Home tab, we click the Font Dialog Box Launcher here in the bottom right-hand corner of the font group. If necessary, click the Number tab in the Format Cells dialog box, and then in the category list, we click Date. When we do, the Type list appears with a list of date formats. In the Type list, we click 31401. With that type selected, we click OK to apply the chosen format to the cell. Now we click cell G3, and on the Home tab, in the Number group, click the Number Format button's down arrow, and then click More Number Formats. In the category list, click Special, and then in the type list, click Phone Number, and click OK. Doing so applies a phone number format to the value in cell G3. Now click cell H3, and click the Font Dialog Box Launcher. In the Format Cells dialog box, if necessary, click the Number tab, and then in the category list, click Custom. The contents of the type list are updated to reflect your choice. In the type list, click the #, comma, #, $0 item. Now in the type box, click to the left of the existing format and type a $. Then click to the right of the format and click double quote space before bonuses and close the double quote. When you do, the sample value pane displays what the cell's value will look like after you apply the format. Click OK to close the dialog box and apply the format to the value in cell H3. In this segment, we made numbers easier to read. In the next segment, we are going to change the appearance of data based on its value. In the previous segment of the course, we made numbers easier to read. In this segment, we are going to change the appearance of data based on its value. I'm using the dashboard exercise file. I started out with the dashboard_start exercise file, then I saved it under this new name. To begin, we select cells C4 through C12, and then on the Home tab, in the Styles group, click Conditional Formatting. On the menu, point to Color Scales, and then from the gallery that appears, click the second pattern from the left in the top row. When we do, Excel formats the cells using the selected color scale. Now select cells F4 through F12, and now on the Home tab, in the Styles group, we click Conditional Formatting, and then on the list that appears, we point to data bars, and then in the Solid Fill group, click the orange data bar format. When we do, Excel formats the range with the selected data bar format. Now we select cells I4 through I12, and once again on the Home tab in the Styles group, we click Conditional Formatting. Now we point to icon sets, and then in the left column of the list of formats, click the 3 traffic lights with a black border. Doing so causes Excel to format the selected cells. Now, while we still have range I4 through I12 selected, on the Home tab in the Styles group, click Conditional Formatting, and then click Manage Rules. The Conditional Formatting Rules Manager opens. Now click the Icon Set rule, and click the Edit Rule button. This causes the Edit Formatting Rule dialog box to open. Next, we click the Reverse Icon Order button, which causes the icons to change in order from green being the highest to red being the highest. Now, in the Red Light Icons row, in the Type list, click Number. In the Value field on the same row, click 0.7. In the Yellow Lights Icons row, in the Type list, click Number. And now in the Value field, type 0.5. Click OK twice to close the Edit Formatting Rule dialog box, and then the Conditional Formatting Rules Manager. Excel changes the format of the selected cell range. Now we click cell C15. Now on the Home tab, in the Styles group, we click Conditional Formatting. On the menu, point to Highlight Cells Rules, and then click Less Than. In the Less Than dialog box, in the left field, type 96%. Now, in the With list, click Red Text. Click OK to create the rule. The Less Than dialog box closes, and Excel displays the text in cell C15 in red. In this segment, we changed the appearance of data based on its value. In the next segment, which is the final segment of the Changing Workbook Appearance section, we will add images to workbooks. In the previous segment, we changed the appearance of data based on its value. In this segment, which is the final segment of Section 4, Changing Workbook Appearance, we are going to add images to worksheets. I'm using the call center workbook, which I created from the call center _start sample workbook. I saved it under this new name. On the Insert tab, in the Illustrations group, click Picture. In the Insert Picture dialog box, navigate to the directory that contains the image that you want to insert, and then double-click it. In this case, we will click the phone image. When we do, Excel inserts the image into our worksheet. Now, on the Format Contextual tab, in the Adjust group, click Remove Background. Excel attempts to separate the image's foreground from its background. Drag the handles at the upper left and bottom right corners of the outline until the entire phone, including the cord, is within the frame. Now, on the Background Removal tab, we click Keep Changes. Excel removes the highlighted image elements. Now we move the image to the upper left corner of the worksheet. Click and hold the handle at the lower right corner of the image, and drag the handle up and to the left until the image no longer obscures the call volume label. On the Page Layout tab, in the Page Setup group, click Background. In the Sheet Background dialog box, double-click the image that you want to use. In this case, we will use the texture file, so we will double-click it, and Excel repeats the image to form a background pattern for your worksheet. Now on the Page Layout tab, in the Page Setup group, click Delete Background. When we do, Excel removes the background from your worksheet. In this segment, we added images to worksheets. This is the last segment of Section 4, Changing Workbook Appearance. In the next section of the course, we will focus on specific data by using filters.